My dear friends, today I will be discussing about the diagnosis of Fallot's tetralogy, which is a common congenital heart disease. Now, what is Fallot's tetralogy? Fallot's tetralogy is a congenital heart disease or a heart defect which can be present since birth or at birth, and it may lead to cyanosis in later life and lead to cyanotic heart disease. There is one of the important complication of Fallot's tetralogy. Now it consists of four important component or four important heart defect. So number one is pulmonary stenosis or pulmonary infundibular stenosis. Next important component is ventricular septal defect. Third important component is right ventricular hypertrophy, and fourth component is overriding of aorta. So there are four important component or heart defect of Fallot's tetralogy, and out of this the most important component which may lead to cyanosis is VSD as well as pulmonary stenosis. Now, because of pulmonary stenosis, there is always difficulty for the right ventricle to pump blood towards the lung. Because there is a strong resistance in front of the circulation or in the flow of circulation, and that's why there is a gradual increase in the size of the right ventricle or hypertrophy of the muscles of the right ventricle, which leads to right ventricular hypertrophy. At the same time, there is a VSD or defect in the interventricular septum, and which allows the admixture of blood between the left ventricle as well as right ventricle. But normally left side of heart or left ventricle pressure is high or more compared to the right ventricle, and that's why blood from the left ventricle will enter into the right ventricle, and because of that there is no cyanosis, because right ventricular blood contain oxygenated blood, so it is not hampered with the help of, or it is not admixture with the carbon dioxide containing blood. But in case, because of any condition or because of severity of the pulmonary stenosis, there is increased rise of right ventricular pressure. That time blood from the right ventricle can enter into the left ventricle, which may lead to admixture of blood from the right to left side, and that's why the left ventricular blood will contain more deoxygenated blood or carbon dioxide containing blood, which ultimately supplied to systemic circulation, leading to cyanosis. So cyanosis will occur when there is right to left shunt, and because of that blood from the left ventricle which is contain more carbon dioxide will be supplied to whole body, and because of that there is increased risk of cyanosis, and the baby becomes blue, and we call it blue baby syndrome. So Fallot tetralogy may lead to blue baby syndrome also, and today we will be discussing about how to diagnose Fallot's tetralogy. Now, diagnostic tool of Fallot's tetralogy is echocardiography. But before that, we must know there are various clinical features, sign symptoms, which may also help in diagnosis. So if the patient gives complaint of sudden hypoxic spell or cyanotic smell or taste spell, this can help in diagnosis of Fallot's tetralogy. In cyanotic spell or in hypoxic spell, the mother may complain that the baby become blue on crying, which is because of cyanosis. Besides, there will be increase on crying or because of precipitation by other condition like fever, anxiety, pain, dehydration. The hypoxic spell may be precipitated, and various sign symptoms may be shortness of breath, then anxiety, then loss of consciousness, cyanosis, etc. So presence of cyanotic spell, presence of TET spell, and baby present with cyanosis or history of blue baby syndrome, all these point towards Fallot's tetralogy. Now when it comes to diagnostic or imaging technology, the echocardiography is a diagnostic tool of choice in case of diagnosis for Fallot's tetralogy, because it can diagnose the ventricular septal defect by the flow of blood from right to left or left to right, it can diagnose the right ventricular hypertrophy or thickness of the right ventricle. It can also diagnose overriding of aorta. Besides, Doppler echo can diagnose the severity of the pulmonary stenosis, that is pulmonary infundibular stenosis. So with the help of echocardiography as well as Doppler echocardiography, we can diagnose the various components of phellostatology, and from this diagnosis of all the components, we can confirm the phellostatology. Besides, for those patients who are diagnosed phellostatology, we can go for screening of DiGeorge syndrome, because DiGeorge syndrome is one of the important risk factors which may lead to or important cause of or genetic cause of phellostatology. So in all the patients who have been diagnosed phellostatology, we can go for screening of DiGeorge syndrome. We can also check for chest X-ray, because chest X-ray or chest radiology is another important diagnostic tool. Here we can find out the boot-shaped heart. Boot-shaped heart, or the heart become boot-shaped because of right ventricular hypertrophy, and we can also find that the lung fields are very dark in color. That is because of pulmonary oligemia. Because of pulmonary stenosis or infundibular stenosis, blood from the right ventricle cannot go towards the lung, and that's why there is a pulmonary oligemia, because of decreased blood flow towards the lung, and that's why lung fields will be very dark. So these are the various sign symptoms or X-ray findings in case of chest radiology or chest X-ray. So in chest X-ray, what we will see? We will see boot-shaped heart, which is because of right ventricular hypertrophy, and we can see dark lung fields, which is because of pulmonary oligemia. Now we can, another important tool we can use to diagnose phellostatology is ECG. In ECG, we can see right ventricular hypertrophy along with right axis deviation. So all of us know right ventricular hypertrophy can be diagnosed with the help of ECG, and here we can, because of right ventricular hypertrophy also, we can see right ventricular muscle mass increase, and in ECG we can also see right axis deviation, which is because of right ventricular hypertrophy. So these are the various diagnostic tool or with the help of which we can diagnose or focus phellostatology. So most important diagnostic tool is echocardiography and Doppler echocardiography, followed by chest X-ray. Then we can go for genetic testing for DiGeorge syndrome. At the same time, ECG also important, which can diagnose right ventricular hypertrophy along with right axis deviation. Besides sign symptoms and clinical features at presentation, that they may be another important pointing tool for diagnosis of phellostatology. So sign symptom at presentation is blue baby syndrome or cyanotic spells or hypoxic spells, and shortness of breath, then failure to gain weight, then exertional dyspnea. So these are the various sign symptoms or presence of hypoxic spells or cyanotic spells also point towards phellostatology. So these are the various ways or techniques by which we can diagnose phellostatology. Thank you very much.